Happy morning, dear students. Today's topic is Hirschsprung disease. Another name of this Hirschsprung disease is aganglionic megacolon. Means what is megacolon? Aganglionic. Okay, that condition name is called as Hirschsprung disease. Here, this condition, why it occurs means due to the congenital absence of parasympathetic ganglionic nerve cells. Here, because of some parasympathetic nerve cells, ganglionic nerve cells, both in muscle layers or submucosal layer of distal colon and then rectum, because of congenitally malformation of parasympathetic ganglionic nerve cells is present in the submucosal layer of the colon. Actually it is there, but it is absence is there, some deformity is there for the formation of these cells. So because of that, extreme dilatation of the colon will be there. Here the lower part of the colon is having extreme dilatation. Okay, this is called as Hirschsprung disease. Coming to the introduction, here the another name of this Hirschsprung disease is megacolon. Is an abnormal dilatation of colon that is not caused by mechanical obstruction. Because of it is not caused by the mechanical obstruction, it is usually accompanied by symptoms such as abdominal discomfort, but may result in serious complications if left it over. Whenever you are not treating this one, it may lead to the serious complications, that is colonic perforation and peritonitis or sepsis may be there. Okay, so this Hirschsprung disease, another name is megacolon. Megacolon means dilatation of the colon that is not caused by the mechanical obstruction. Okay, this is about introduction of Hirschsprung disease. Coming to the types of megacolon or Hirschsprung disease, the megacolon can be classified as acute or chronic depending on whether the dilatation is temporary or ongoing. Okay, here the types is acute or chronic. Mostly it is depending upon the type of the dilatation. Okay, and here the all cases of acute megacolon are acquired, whereas chronic megacolon can be both, it is mixing with the acquired or congenital. Okay, these are the causes, types of the megacolon. First one is acute megacolon, it is mostly acquired. Chronic megacolon, it is mixed with the both conditions, that is acquired or congenital. I said no in introduction itself, by congenitally what happened, the parasympathetic ganglionic nerve cells and then submucosal layers of the rectal part, that is colon part, it is absence because of congenital malformation, and these muscles are not formed properly, so it may leads to the acquired or congenital. Okay, this is about the chronic type. Okay, whenever we are seeing the acute megacolon can be further categorized, it is depending on where there is inflammation of the colon. Here acute means it is a sudden onset. Okay, once it is sudden onset, what happens, some inflammatory process will be there in that colon. If the inflammation is present, that usually results in systemic toxicity, so that the resulting conditions is referred to as a toxic megacolon. Okay, once the inflammation is there, the toxicity will be there in that baby. If no inflammation is present, that condition is referred to the Ogilvie syndrome. Ogilvie syndrome means just the colon is dilated. Okay, because there is no proper muscle layers in that colon and then rectal region, that is parasympathetic ganglionic nerve cells and then submucosal layers is not formed properly, that is called as Ogilvie syndrome. Because Ogilvie syndrome means it is a dilatation of the colon or megacolon. Okay, or just acute megacolon. Okay, these are the types of megacolon. First one is acute, second one is chronic. Okay, acute is over. Okay, next coming to the Here the causes of megacolon. Okay, here the what are the causes of megacolon? Here the megacolon has a wide range of causes including infections, disease and medications and various congenital disorders. It may also occur following a major surgeries. For example, any congenital malformations of baby is having, they are underwent some surgeries. So it may leads to the this megacolon also. Okay, however, that condition is often idiopathic, which means the exact cause is not known. Okay, these are the causes of megacolon or Hirschsprung disease. And coming to the symptoms of megacolon, what are the symptoms will be there? Look at this picture. By watching of this image, you should tell about what are the clinical features is there in the megacolon. Okay, what you know about what is megacolon? This is the normal large intestine, this is ascending colon, this is transverse colon, this is descending colon, and then this is anus and then rectum. What happened here in this megacolon or Hirschsprung's disease, mostly it may present in the colon or the rectal region. Okay, here the descending colon and then rectal region. What happened here? The parasympathetic ganglionic nerve cells, both is muscle layer of submucosal layer or distal part of the colon or the rectum, is the muscle layers is absent here. So once the absence of muscle layer, whatever the fecal matter is dumped here itself, it is simply bulging. There is no peristaltic movements here, simply it is bulging. Whatever the fecal matter is comes here, it may be here, it will be collected, so it is called as megacolon. Okay, megacolon or Hirschsprung disease. What happened? By this is internally happening because of some congenital or acquired or these conditions will be there. Sometimes it is toxic and peritonitis and then bleeding, septic shock also will be there. So once this is happening in the internally, what happened, what are the clinical features is there for that baby? Okay, by physical examination, the abdominal distension also is there. We will see what are the signs and symptoms of megacolon. The common symptoms of megacolon including constipation. Okay, the first symptom is constipation, because whatever fecal matter is dumping here itself, so whatever it is obstructed there, so baby is having constipation. At the same time, baby is having bloating and abdominal pain or tenderness is there whenever we are palpating. Okay, baby is having abdominal pain and then tenderness. In more severe cases, hard fecal mass called fecal mass, fecalomass may also be present. Here there is no evacuation will be there. Here there is no evacuation of that stools will be there. So child is having that constipation. What happened here? It may leads to the hard fecal mass. Okay, once it is neglected, it won't, there is no peristaltic movements, it won't comes outside. So whatever the fecal matter is dumping there, so child is having fecalomass. Whenever we are palpating the abdomen, it will be identifying. And next coming, whenever here the baby is having some symptoms, that is depending on the cause, how the causes it may be related, means the megacolon may have additional symptoms, that is in toxic megacolon usually caused by infections. Additional symptoms including fever, tachycardia and then shock. In disease related cases of megacolon, additional symptoms are these of the disease itself. Here it is associated with another problems, no, it is related with that symptoms also is present. If it is toxic, I said, no, peritonitis and then perforation, that time baby is having severe inflammatory process, that is infection process will be there. Okay, baby is having rising of the body temperature and everything, tachycardia and then shock also is there. These are the clinical features of megacolon. Okay, coming to the management. The management of megacolon starts by addressing the underlying cause. First you should know about which cause is related for this megacolon or Hirschsprung disease, such as offending offending medications or disease. If known, we should reveal that because of any related problems or because of any offending medications are used. Okay, because of that the baby is suffering with this megacolon, you should rule out, and then you should divide that, that is acute megacolon and then chronic megacolon. Here we will discuss about acute megacolon treatment and then chronic megacolon treatment. Here in acute megacolon, all food and then drink should be withheld and nasogastric tube is placed. Okay, this is the management. If non-toxic, there is no inflammation process is there, that time what happened, nasogastrin should be administered neostigmine here, sorry, if it is non-toxic conditions, neostigmine should be administered, and if necessary the colon itself should be decompressed by means of a colonoscopy. Okay, this is in which condition? Non-toxic condition, you should administer the neostigmine. Okay, and you should decompress the colonoscopy. Okay, this is about non-toxic condition where the acute megacolon. If it is toxic condition, you should go for the steroid treatment and then broad spectrum antibiotic. Toxic means the inflammation process will be there, no? So you should administer the steroids and then antibiotics, that is broad spectrum antibiotics should be administered. This is for treatment for the acute megacolon. Okay, coming to the chronic megacolon. Okay, here look at this picture, how this is generally the distal part of the anus or rectum or descending colon is having Hirschsprung disease or megacolon will be there. Okay, whatever the fecal matter is comes and then deposited here. So child is suffering with the constipation, and at the same time child is having severe abdominal tenderness. Okay, whenever it is chronic megacolon, both dietary and then pharmacological methods should be used to increase the intensity of intestinal motility. Here you should follow for the pharmacological or dietary changes. Okay, you should increase the intestinal motility and then administer the laxative, and enemas may also be used to prevent fecal impactation. Okay, so you should prevent this fecal impactation means so you should administer the laxatives and then enemas. Okay, if the patient does not respond to these treatments within 1 or 3 days, it may be necessary to go for the surgery. Okay, how before that you should use the laxatives and then do the enemas. Okay, that time also baby is not responding. Okay, 1 to 3 days, it may be necessary for use of surgery to removal of part of the colon. Here the surgical intervention is needed for this condition. That is what is the surgical management is coleotomy. Here the surgical management of this Hirschsprung disease or megacolon is coleotomy. Options include ileorectal anastomosis and ileostomy. Ostomy means to open. Anastomosis ileorectal. Here the from ileum to up to the rectal part they cut that part and then they are removed. Colectomy. Okay, they are removing and then they should anastomosis the end to end part. Okay, ileostomy will be done. Okay, this is a treatment for surgical treatment for the chronic megacolon. Okay, this is about the management. And coming to the nursing management, based on the assessment data, the major nursing diagnosis for Hirschsprung disease are: first, the nursing diagnosis is constipation, because the first symptom is constipation related to decreased bowel motility. I said no, why this bowel motility is decreased means because of the absence of the parasympathetic ganglionic nerve cells. Okay, because of that baby is not having the peristaltic movements, so baby is suffering with the constipation. And next one is imbalanced nutrition, less than body requirement related to anxiety or anorexia. Okay, and then next one is fear in the older children, because in newborns we can't recognize that baby is having fear or not, so you should write older children. Okay, it is related to impending surgery. Okay, next one is risk for impaired skin integrity related to irritation of the colostomy. Here they are doing the colostomy surgery. Okay, ostomy means to opening of the colon, that is called as colostomy. The surgical intervention of this megacolon is colostomy. Okay, and next one is sometimes they are using colostomy, but the surgical intervention is end-to-end anastomosis is done. And next one is acute pain related to the surgical procedure, because they are removing the colon part, that is cecal part, it is removing, so it is happening. Okay, acute pain will be there surgical because of surgical intervention. Okay, next one is deficient fluid volume related to post operative conditions, and impaired oral and nasal mucosal membranes related to NPO, nothing per oral status and irritating of the nasogastric tube. And next nursing diagnosis is a deficient knowledge of caregivers related to understanding of post-operative care of the colostomy. Here sometimes they are doing the colostomy, so that also they doesn't know about how to give care for that. Okay, so this is about the nursing diagnosis.